Well, it is a great day to have some wonderful ladies with us here today at WVVC-TV 40. And Kashaya, Kiana, and Bev, Sister Bev. Always got a bright word for us. She's like the liquid sunshine around here. And I would like to start with just, if you would, Grandma, introduce your granddaughter who is going to be kind of asking some of the questions today.
Oh, this is absolutely wonderful. My beautiful daughter, Kashaya Williams, who's absolutely just amazing.
And the girl to your left?
And my beautiful daughter, Kiana Holmes.
All right.
Absolutely wonderful.
All right.
And y'all know me. I'm Evangelist Beverly Holmes, just loving on God. And you can just introduce yourself.
I'm Mark Russ. All right, so what happens after RFA, after your education in Rome?
So, after RFA, I decided I wanted to go to Berkeley College of Music. And I was going to go for science, and then I decided that everything I did after school, all my extracurricular activities, was music. And I just loved music, and my mom has, raised me up in music in church ever since I was little. And my grandpa got me piano lessons, so it's just rooted in us. And my mom sings too. I don't know if you heard her voice, but it's beautiful.
I've heard her sing. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you knew young.
Yeah, I knew young.
Like in the church choir or wherever you.
Yeah,
where did you think?
Mom always wrote plays and had me, help her with music and, let me write music for for her shows that we would put on in church. Yeah. And so I was always involved in that way. So I was always involved in church with, singing, and Mom always encouraged me to, do chorus and do orchestra and just branch out to all different gifts that, I do have and possess. So. Yeah.
So you like the whole aspect of music and entertainment? I mean, do you like the back end, the front end? You like the whole ball of wax?
Yeah, it's I'm more in the front part of the music industry. I know a lot of people who do the back work. It's very, very hard and difficult, and sometimes the front, part of the music industry is tainted. So, I know I don't want to do anything that's going to damage my morals and my beliefs.
Right.
So, you have to be careful in that way of, making sure that you're doing what's comfortable and that's going to serve God no matter what.
Yeah.
And so, I love all aspects.
I want to ask you a question, and we're going to let Kashaya jump right in here. Anybody who wants to jump in, just jump in with a question. But
okay.
I got to ask you, what artist, what form of music really sparked you, kind of? What makes you, like, if you're going to get in the groove, so to speak, what gets you into the groove?
Musical theater gets me really excited because that's what I love to do. And I really love hearing music that tells a story. For some reason that really resonates with me.
Right.
But and of course my gospel music that Mom always plays.
And how about the butterflies that comes with it, right? It must be a lot of adrenaline.
It
going
does,
on, right?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of adrenaline because I can definitely see part of, my future, with that too. And, also I wrote gospel music, when I was little and, still doing that too now.
We have one of your songs. We could probably play a clip of it,
very
during
young.
the show a little later on.
I was like, how old is my mom? Like 13.
Yeah.
No, that's all right.
I'm 22 now.
That's beautiful.
But that's when I saw when Cornell.
My Lord, I guess.
No, but Cornell talking about producing the album
Music.
with you, so it was something that you did as a brother and sister.
So
too, right?
I have to thank my brother for a lot. A lot of my musical knowledge, a lot of it comes from my brother Cornell. So I love you, Cornell. He got me my first piano. And he was always there, help me. Every time he was, working on something with any production program, he would always be like, yeah, come and look, this is what I'm doing now, just telling me the ropes and how to do things. And when I went to Berkeley, I was already ahead of the game because my brother has taught me at a young age, how to program music and, how to get it sounding
Even
right.
mixing it?
Yeah, mixing it, all that other stuff. I learned all of that from him. So I was way ahead of the game before, a lot of people at school. So I have him to thank for that too.
So Quiana, did you find your high school musical activities beneficial to your college career?
Definitely. Actually, I feel like I worked harder in high school than I did in college, to be completely honest. I was always involved with, the musicals and, orchestra and marching band. I was involved, like, from the second school got out to, like, 1 o'clock. I mean, you remember the times I would come home and, like, still have to do homework, and, I just found that dedication and, like, the discipline that I had to have to keep, my energy up and my grades, to where they need to be so I can still be in everything. Like, that dedication and that, like, hard work really helped me transition to college because, I don't know, like, college, I just felt like I had a ground in, what I wanted to do because I've been doing it all through my high school career, and I had my teachers to thank, Twyla Edwards and Jake Meese, and, they just really helped me understand what I was really wanting to do. So, yeah.
What was your first major show like? Like, I know you did a couple shows in Boston and, like, your first, like, theatrical show.
Yeah, so my first professional show was The Wiz, and I played Dorothy, and that was quite an experience because, I did theater all throughout Rome, and I did the Capitol Theater. Some shows there, like Rent and Hairspray and Aida, did some of those shows there. But this was the first time that I was getting paid to do what I love, so it was weird. I was like, I'm doing something that I love and I'm getting paid for it. This kind of feels wrong. I met so many wonderful people, and something that was different here was, I was working with, I was the only student in that production, and everyone was looking at me like I was crazy because behind stage I was doing my homework, getting everything ready. They're like, oh my God, you're still in, school. And I was like, yeah, gotta keep up those grades, even though I'm, spending a lot of my time, in rehearsal. Like, rehearsal was 10 to 8 every day, so I was missing a lot of school. And so I was just lucky that, Berkeley was able to let me branch out and, like, believed in me to just, go and take that step for my professional career. So, yeah.
Would you say those all-nighters, doing shows and homework and, going back to school, working on the side as well, would you say it was all worth it?
It's definitely, yes, it was definitely worth it. It just became a pattern that I just fell into. I was like, oh, this is going to be my life, I just might as well get used to it now. I got used to it in high school, and so it was really easy in college to do it, so, yeah.
What advice would you give a student who's going on a similar career path as you?
I would definitely say to keep going because you're going to hear no a lot, and you might hear no from your family members, and you might hear no from close friends, teachers. You might hear no a lot. And, you just have to keep going. Like, that's all I can say. It's not about your talent. It's about who you are meeting. It's networking. It's about being at the right place at the right time. And it's about knowing that you bring something different to the table. It's never a comparison thing. You can't do it, or you will break down. It's something that's very, very scary in the music industries because you're always comparing to the next person, and you just can't do that because you have something different to bring. So, yeah.
So can you give us a little insight on your any of your upcoming projects?
Yeah. So my latest project or accomplishment is I'm going to be going on tour with Motown The Musical, and that is still sitting with me. It hasn't really hit yet, so I'm going to be going on tour nationally with the cast, and I'm really excited to meet everybody, and I've already met the director and, like, all the casting directors and everything, so they're all really nice, and they're really sweet, so I'm just excited to get started. And that'll be starting in September. So, moving out to New York and doing the whole shebang. It's going to be great.
Okay, I just have a few questions for you. Mainly in the as you was auditioning for the musical,
Yes.
and if I recall, I believe there was 2 musicals that you went for, that you auditioned for. Could you just kind of elaborate on that for me?
Yeah, of course. So I just right out of college, I started doing auditioning, and I actually auditioned for Dirty Dancing as well. And those were the first 2 auditions I had, Dirty Dancing and Motown The Musical. And I was just so excited, you know. I had to keep traveling out to New York to audition for these shows. So I live in Boston, so it was very time consuming. But I auditioned for Dirty Dancing, and I actually ended up booking that role too, the role of Elizabeth in Dirty Dancing. And then I auditioned for Motown, and I kept getting called back, and my manager was like, "Look, I know you booked one thing, but you gotta see if you can get this one. So you can decide. You can have that power to decide which one you want to do and which one you think is gonna benefit you. The most in your professional career." I auditioned and got called back, and I booked the role. For the role of I'm in the ensemble, but I also understudied Diana Ross in the Motown Musical.
Oh, that's awesome. And in the judging stages of that, like, who really made the initial finalization on who's going to be who?
Yeah. So there's a really big casting board. And for every callback, there's more people added to the pool of judges. And so first we have the 2 casting directors, and then I meet the director, and then you meet the producers of the show, and then you meet some other people that I'm actually not sure of their titles right now. But the person who had the final say in who is going to be playing principal roles in the show is the one and only Berry Gordy. And so I was actually able to record the video. Well, they recorded the video of my audition, and they sent it to Berry Gordy, and Berry Gordy had to approve me. So
he
Berry Gordy had the final say, as in if I was to be able to join the cast of Motown. So thank you, Berry Gordy, so much.
Oh, that is awesome. That is really, really awesome. So I know you were very, very excited for the How long is the tour?
So, including rehearsals, the tour is a total of 10 months, and we start in September. We have 2 weeks of rehearsal in New York, so I'll be moving out to New York for 2 weeks. And then we are off to Kentucky for our tech rehearsal for 2 weeks, and then we move right on to Chicago.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we're in Chicago, and that's the first and only city I know of right now where we're going to be starting out in, so we're really excited to be doing that. Broadway in Chicago.
So that's awesome. So therefore, I'm really happy this week because you came home to visit Mom.
I know, and it's really, really nice to be able to do it.
It's been a while to see you.
Yeah, and it's just been because I'm also working in a wedding band, and with Wilson Stevens, the production company in Boston. So we do weddings every weekend. So it's so hard to try and come out during the week, when I'm still working, and then with the weekends I have to be, in Boston at those gigs, and we go out to Nantucket, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, you name it. We're everywhere on the weekends. So it was really nice to just have this week free and able to come home and see the family and be here with WVVC.
Till as old as time, true as it can be, barely even friends, then somebody bends unexpectedly, just a little change. Small to say the least, both a little scared, neither one prepared, Beauty and the Beast. Ever just the